that Palestine is an Arab nation. All it means is Palestinian will have the character of an Arab state. It won't have Hebrew as the language. It will have Arabic as the language. It won't have Jewish festivals as the national festivals. It will have the festivals of the Arabs.
You're conflating religion and nationality.
Sorry,
Arab and Jewish
find
are
them.
not mutually exclusive.
So, sorry, again. Israel is the nation state. Palestine would be the nation state. Jewish is the ethnic group of not even religion. People. No, it's thank you for explaining what a Jew is, Moeen. I'll tell you what a Muslim is next. Yeah, we've defined ourselves our own way for thousands of years before you came along and told us what we are. We're not a religion, we're a people. Because there's no word in biblical Hebrew for religion. There is for people, Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, Bnei Israel, the children of Israel.
Before the 19th century, nations did not exist. Neither Palestinians nor Israel.
We don't consider we considered ourselves a nation, a goy, a nation. We have words in Hebrew.
Had a very different meaning historically than the one you're trying to give it now.
I don't know what you think I'm trying to do. I'm telling you that we are not a religion. You can be an atheist Jew.
Anyway. Continue.
Yeah, thank you. So now that you're,
Joseph, do you want to respond to that ICJ? We've only got 1 minute, so if you just quickly finish, just respond to that, and then I'll finish up.
There's not much I disagree with on Moeen when it comes to the ICJ. They've neither ruled that it is committing genocide.
What about the Amnesty International?
So I'll get to Amnesty International. I'll just finish conclude my thoughts on the ICJ. What it said is there's a war going on. Thousands of people have been killed. There are charges that South Africa have brought, and we're going to investigate them. And I'm sure with the passage of time and a thorough investigation, the ICJ will rule that this is not genocide. Genocide, the killing of a race, the killing of an ethnic group or religion. That is not what's happening in Gaza, because there are millions of Arabs living there today. There is no desire for Israel to genocide them, because if it wanted to, it would just drop the bombs on the people rather than the buildings. As much as 60% of the buildings, Moeen, I'll give you the last word, but let me finish. You can have the last word. I don't mind you opening and you closing. That's fine by me, but just allow me to finish a sentence. So you have 60 to 70% of the buildings, according to the UN, whether you take that or you disagree with that statistic. I personally disagree with it. Said that 60 to 70% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. There are 2 million people that lived in the Gaza Strip, yet we're seeing a death toll of around 30,000. Israel is saying that 10,000 of those are confirmed, not confirmed, that they're saying 10,000 of those at least are Hamas fighters, which is still, at a 2-to-1 ratio, which is comparable to most military campaigns. So where we're in the situation is Gaza is densely populated. Hamas have fortified the city, digging a tunnel network more vast than the London Underground. 500 kilometers of tunnels. They fortified the city under the civilian population. So Israel has to fight in a densely populated area. So it's doing everything it can to minimize civilians, which is why the ratio is 2-to-1, whereas we would expect 1 million Palestinians to have been killed if it hadn't been taking these precautions, because according to the United Nations, 60 to 70% of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. So when it comes to the charge of genocide, there is no charge. Israel has gone to great lengths to minimize civilian casualties, which is why the ratio is 2-to-1.
Okay, Joseph, you're going to have to finish up. We've got to finish now.
Okay, I'll very, very, very briefly say, when it comes to Amnesty International, just look at how little they reported on the Assad war and the Syrian civil war. When 500,000 people were killed, they were issuing more critical reports against Israel than the savagery of ISIS and Assad combined. So Amnesty International goes where its donors goes. It's a deeply flawed organization. Now over to you, Moeen, for the closing words.
Just a quick, can you be a Christian Jew?
Yes.
I see. Okay. So
you can be a Muslim Jew. You're ethnically Jewish, and then you take a different faith.
Well, you can say my faith is both. I'm the Jewish faith and the Christian faith.
You would say my faith is Christianity. My ethnicity.
My nationality is Jewish.
I belong to the Jewish people, and Jews would believe that person religiously has an obligation to return to the faith.
Right,
but they're still Jewish.
You can be a Christian Jew, Muslim Jew, Protestant Jew,
atheist Jew. Yeah, a Jew is anyone born of a Jewish mother.
I think that puts you in an exceptionally small minority of Jews.
No, that's Jewish law. That's Israeli state law. That's
Again, I think it's important to make a distinction between Israel.
It's a halakha that was defined thousands of years ago.
Yeah,
well anyway,
Israel
yes.
didn't exist then, and I think it's important to make a distinction between Israel and Judaism, because of course one of the tenets of Zionism and of Israel is that these two are one and the same, and that any criticism of one is an attack on the other. Which is, of course, absurd. Look, you made a lot of claims about what Israel is and is not doing in the Gaza Strip. Time is short. I won't go into them in detail, except to say, for my purposes, the statements of Israeli leaders, Israeli political leaders, military leaders, members of parliament, opinion makers, and so on, about what they are seeking to achieve in the Gaza Strip and how they intend to achieve it is sufficient for me. And here I would defer to the opinion offered by the German judge at the International Court of Justice, where he felt he needed to explain why he voted with the majority to determine that South Africa had presented a plausible case. And what he said is that he felt that under different circumstances, he would have voted against proceeding with this case. But Israel's statements of intent regarding the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip essentially tied his hands and left him with no choice but to consider this a plausible case of genocide.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you both, Moeen and Joseph, for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.